कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Americans vote in presidential election. U.S. judge orders sweep for postal ballots. And $100 million in unemployment relief.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Leading this bulletin, U.S. President Donald Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden are tonight slugging out a tight battle for the White House. Biden held a lead earlier this evening with 205 of the 270 Electoral College votes needed to secure a win, while Trump has 136. However, it's too early to call it. After a heavy presidential race, Americans streamed to the polls earlier today. This is to choose either Donald Trump or his challenger Joe Biden to lead the nation for the next 4 years. And staying with the U.S. election, a judge ordered postal services to check for delayed ballots in battleground states on Election Day. However, the U.S. Postal Service says it cannot complete the sweep by the deadline.
A judge ordered the United States Postal Service to sweep mail processing facilities on Tuesday afternoon for undelivered election ballots and immediately dispatch any for delivery in about a dozen states, including closely fought battlegrounds, Pennsylvania and Florida. USPS data showed about 300,000 ballots that were received for mail processing did not have scans confirming their delivery to election authorities. While ballots may be delivered without scans, voting rights groups fear mail delays could cause at least some of those votes to be disqualified. U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan issued the ruling in response to lawsuits brought by groups including Vote Forward, the NAACP, and Latino community groups. Affected by the order are central Pennsylvania, northern New England, greater South Carolina, South Florida, Colorado, Arizona, Alabama, and Wyoming, as well as the cities of Atlanta, Houston, Philadelphia, Detroit, and Lakeland, Florida. Sullivan ordered postal officials to complete the inspections by 3 p.m. Eastern and certify by 4:30 p.m. that no ballots were left behind. Lawyers for the USPS told Sullivan in a court filing that the agency was not able to complete the sweeps by 4:30 p.m., but was, quote, working as expeditiously as possible to comply with this court's orders while recognizing physical and operational limitations and the need to avoid disrupting key activities on Election Day. The NAACP filed an emergency request for a new court hearing to address next steps, noting the USPS had not complied with the court order.
And here in Fiji, locals gathered at the U.S. Embassy in Suva to learn about the presidential election and observe polling. It was the opportunity of a lifetime for some and a learning experience for others. Sanyani Boiler with the details.
It was a great experience for Year 10 student Paris Walla Walla watching the U.S. presidential election at the embassy.
Yes, I've learned a lot. Based on the people here were really helpful. They explained to me how things work and how the voting system works, and I really enjoyed watching and just being able to experience this.
USP students were also keen to learn more about how American leaders are elected.
And we got to learn a little bit more about elections, especially which media represents the Democrats, which media represents the interests of the Republicans.
Enhance my capabilities and my skills and learning more about democracy, as election is one of my final course that I'm currently doing. So elections in the USA and compared to here.
U.S. Ambassador to Fiji Joseph Seller says the president election is like no other in the world.
There are electors, so obviously citizens who are registered to vote. They cast their ballots in their local municipalities, villages, townships, counties for the offices, but through their ballots, electors within each of the states, based on the number of congressional districts you have, then cast the official ballots for the president and vice president in a few weeks.
A winner is expected to be known by tomorrow. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
$133.6 million has been paid out under the Unemployment Assistance Initiative. The government has provided $46 million, including $30.6 million from the COVID-19 response budget and $15.4 million from the current national budget. Kelly Vadala reports.
Minister for Economy Said Qayyum says the government is gradually releasing $100 million for unemployment benefits.
We are using the funds from that particular allocation that is made. Out of that $100 million, we had said that $5 million will be used for reskilling and retraining people. We are currently talking to FNU in that respect. There are some people, who will want to get retrained in other areas.
Said Qayyum says the Stronger Together Job Support Scheme is the government's latest initiative to help those worst affected by COVID-19. The priority is those in the informal sector.
We are particularly also concerned about those people who are not part and parcel of the FNPF scheme. There are a number of people who are in the informal sector, who may be selling boiled EV or selling coconuts or vegetables or mithai or whatever it is by the roadside.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Service says the scheme will help those looking for employment during this difficult time.
FRCS will work closely and quickly with all related parties to ensure and enable the benefits of this initiative, an objective of incentivizing employers to create employment for out-of-work Fijians.
500 new jobs have already been created under Round 1 of the scheme, with applications for Round 2 now open. Employers who are interested in the subsidized workers will have to prioritize informal or unskilled workers. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Up ahead, substandard building plans and preparing for the cyclone season.
मैं टोटली दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
The Ministry of Local Government has seen a high number of substandard building applications lodged with municipal councils. Minister Pramila Kumar says in Suva, 200 building applications last year were deemed to be substandard. Kritika Kumar with the details.
Building plans are not drawn to scale. There are issues of structural integrity, and detailed designs are a copy and paste job.
Such issues, and to protect the interest of the developers and the public at large, the draft bill now makes reference to applications being lodged by accredited persons. This means that only those professionals who are qualified and have the necessary experience, and preferably carry professional indemnity cover, will be permitted to lodge building applications with municipal councils.
Kumar says to curb these issues, legal changes will require that applications be lodged by accredited persons.
A separate regulation effecting these changes with detailed criteria will be announced after thorough consultation with the relevant professional associations and bodies in the coming months.
The Director Country Planning has highlighted that in some instances people start building even before they have approval from his department. Mohammad Ziar adds this is a serious problem.
Because we cannot actually monitor them at this first instance. But usually it's the enforcement role goes with the municipal councils to actually enforce that, to ensure that everything is in compliance. In some cases we have received applications for regularization, we say, when buildings are already built and the plans are then retrospectively approved afterwards.
The department has asked municipal councils to increase enforcement and make regular visits to development sites. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Ministry of Disaster Management is gearing up towards a state of readiness as we enter the cyclone season. The National Disaster Management Office is working with the Fiji Met Service to ensure all systems and processes are in place to prepare first responders as well as communities. Koroi Tandalala reports.
Various arms of government and other stakeholders need to be able to act on a moment's notice.
And it's important for us to understand our state of readiness before we go into the season, so that we can identify critical areas that needs to be addressed, who is going to take responsibility, and of course what resources are needed if those areas or critical issues needs to be addressed.
While the government is making its preparations, Minister for Infrastructure Chode Usamate is pleading with vulnerable communities to not be complacent.
You've seen from the weather forecast that we're in a La Nina. So in La Nina there's going to be a lot of rainfall. There's going to be a likelihood of more rain, of a possibility of flooding. So there's a need for everybody to make sure that our waterways are cleaned. We need the water to go out quickly. People need to pay a lot more attention.
For weeks now, the NDMO has been running disaster awareness campaigns, educating Fijians on safety measures.
Key message to all Fijians is for us to start preparing early, so that we can minimize the damages if we do come through cyclones again.
Authorities have assured that they will release timely and accurate information in the event of a tropical cyclone. Koreitantulala, FBC News.
The Fiji police force has issued a stern warning to bus passengers not to behave recklessly and respect others while travelling. Concerns were raised after videos emerged of commuters being unruly, with some even dancing on top of a moving bus. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro says their operations team have been notified and they are looking into it. With major games coming up this weekend, police are urging the public to be responsible so as to prevent any celebration from turning tragic.
Really dangerous because of the the electricity lines and everything like that. So I think apart from police, everybody has a role to play. Their parents and the bus drivers park the vehicle, park the bus, and you can also demand that they have to behave. If not, call us or we can do something, or drive to the nearest police station, which has happened in the past, and we've taken action. But at the end of the day, we don't want these situations to turn tragic.
Two officers based at the Totongo police station alleged to be involved in a case of unlawful detainment last month remain suspended. Two separate investigations were directed following a report lodged by the alleged victim claiming he and others were unlawfully detained for breaching curfew. The police say the officers are awaiting their tribunal process, which is an internal investigation.
Apart from that, the criminal side of the investigation continues, and that's being handled by Totongo, and then afterwards it will be also handled by CID headquarters.
And Whitney joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in business tonight, telecom operators told to share assets. And in growing Fiji, more poor roads get new seal. Stay with us.
Pula natang ko aprosa ng karse, go erkraki, do televizyon na parang na Radio Fiji 1, nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1, nandomo ibiti.
The sharing of infrastructure, expanding services and working together were issues brought up in an open forum between the Communications Ministry and various telecom companies. Minister for Communications A.S. Syed Kium says these companies, including radio and TV broadcasters, can share their transmission towers to improve services to Fijians. Syed Kium says the onus is on the companies to come up with suggestions on how best they can move forward.
All of you, of course, make your money not by putting up towers, you actually make money by providing services to the consumers. That's fundamentally the bottom line. And the less capital outlay you have, it's better for you. So you get a better rate of return on your investments, or whatever investments you make.
U.S. stocks closed sharply higher today as Americans voted in one of the country's most rancorous presidential elections. And investors bet it would be decided without a prolonged process, leading to a swift deal on more fiscal stimulus. Jennifer joins us now with the latest from the money market.
The dollar was down 0.6% against a basket of currencies after hitting a month high on Monday. Analysts believe a Biden win would weaken the dollar, as the former vice president is expected to spend big on stimulus and to take a freer approach to trade, boosting foreign currencies at the dollar's expense. Investors took a more cautious approach as the election neared. Rather than outright bets on a particular election outcome, many traders flocked to the safety of dollars so that they were well positioned to take advantage of volatility when the final results arrive. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Here today's local exchange rates as set early this morning. As usual, when the US dollar and Chinese yuan make gains, the Fiji dollar rises as well. However, it also usually means our dollar decreases again. The Aussie and Kiwi dollars, as was the case today. Prices were rising on the commodities market. Oil went back on the rise at just under $37 a barrel. Gold was higher at $1,896 per ounce, and silver closed up at $24.15 per ounce. The Fiji Roads Authority has rehabilitated 2.5 kilometers of severely deteriorated roads in the greater Suva area. These include Pratt Street, Selborne Street, Hercules Street, Holland Street, Amy Street, Ono Street, and some sections of Queens Road. FRA Acting Chief Executive Officer Kamal Prasad says work is in progress on the severely deteriorated sections of Fulanga Street, Nasevo Street in Lami, Queens Road in Vesari, Nayao Street, and Como Street. Most of the work will be carried out at night, including curfew hours. However, some work will be carried out during the day. And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Whitney, and good evening in sports tonight. Suva out to end the VPL drought. And Hands of Stone ready for Golden Boy. This and more coming up.
FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
The Vodafone Premier League title will be decided in 4 days, and for teams in the running, the stakes are high. Suva Football, in contention for the title alongside Rewa, will be out to break a 4-year league drought and live up to fans' expectations. Tale Materkula with more from the Suva camp.
Suva will need a win or draw against Nandi to take clinch of the title, but they are not counting their luck just yet.
We won't take anything away from Nandi. Kamal Swami is a good coach. He's always planning and planning good things. You know, when you have good coaches, the game automatically becomes good too.
Anything can happen in football, and coach Babs Khan says fan support plays a crucial role in their performance.
In the beginning of the season, as I came along, you know, there was a lot of negativity in the team, you know, and with the fans, and slowly the fans grew with us, and you know, they have backed us up spiritually, and keep doing that, you know, and it's a good thing. You can see the positive side of the team now is we've been blessed with the results.
Leading his team into the final round, Captain Felipe Mbaravilala says it will be quite an achievement for the players if they come out victorious.
The boys have been working hard throughout the season. It will be a payoff for them. But this game is a crucial game against Nandi. It won't be easy, just like the game last week against Rewa. So we'll have to work hard during training, and so that we can achieve our goal.
The Whites are calling on fan support in the all-important clash on Sunday at 3 p.m. at ANZ Stadium. Tale Materkula, FBC Sports.
2 more teams will join the Vodafone Women's Senior Football League next year. Fiji Football Association Executive Board member Nazia Ali Krishna confirms Raki and Nandongo have put their hands up to join the competition. The inclusion will see 18 competing teams in the Women's League, however, in different divisions.
The start of a new league, and that is for a first division league, which is called the Super 6, and this is the top 6 teams from every district, from around the country rather, that would be making this league, and then another league below that will look at the rest of the teams, so that we have a very highly competitive tournament.
Suva is the only union with all teams through to the Skipper Cup semi-finals this weekend in the men's, women's and under-19 competition. Defending men's champion Ramsamy Suva will be back to full strength against Namosi on Saturday, hoping to book their place in the 2020 final. Aquila Dama has more.
It will not be the same Suva side that's going to play Namosi in the Skipper Cup semi-final this weekend.
I think we've
loaded all our senior boys that has never played in the last 2 weeks. So we're expecting those boys to be named in this week's team.
One of the senior players who featured against Namosi last week was Sireli Lendua, and he is expected to retain his place this weekend. The side also wants to win the title for Lendua, as this is his last season.
I've decided to end my season this year in rugby and continue with work, and I've got other plans for my family as well.
Suva will host Namosi at the ANZ Stadium at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and you can watch the match live and exclusive on FBC Sports. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Fiji-born France rugby centre Birimi Bakatawa is expected to line up against the Flying Fijians for the first time next week. Mulo boxer Silibeni Nawai will be out for blood when he takes on Fiji's super middleweight champion Tomu Ngonovo. The two go toe-to-toe in the main supporting bout of the Kirin Boxing Promotions event at Prince Charles Park this month. Felipe Naikaso has more.
25-year-old Siliveni Nawai is ready for his big showdown with Tomu Ngonovo and says he is in great shape to take on the current champion.
I'm ready for him and preparations have been really good. I'm going for a knockout as I want the belt as well.
Nawai has won 11 fights, 8 of them have been knockouts. He has lost 4 and has 1 draw. His opponent has won 5 fights and lost 2.
It's going to be a good fight, and I know Tomu will also be looking for a win.
Meanwhile, 17-year-old boxer Michele Ravuyada will want to continue his unbeaten streak of 6 wins when he takes on Sailosi Nraimba.
My target is to no one should defeat me, and I was preparing for it.
The event will be held next Saturday in Nandi. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Fiji Volleyball believes its club championship is providing a good platform for younger players to learn from a few seasoned players. The 2-day competition saw a lot of promising young talent battling teams who have been involved in volleyball for the last 10 to 15 years. Association President Linganguki Suva says this is a healthy step towards the development of the sport.
When they see how they play, when they see how they defend, and also the attitude towards and the ethics of being a good player. For us, it's quite a learning curve for us as well. And at the same time, we are glad that we have this young blood coming in and learning from the experts of the game.
In play of the day, we head back to the Mitre 10 Cup in New Zealand. This time it's Willimon Kuroi teaming up with Nasi Manu for an amazing try for Otago. That's it from Sports Tonight.
Baik tu dia jadi beratahu Radio Fiji बहुत Radio Fiji रोज सुनता हूँ.
Radio Fiji 2 देश की धड़कन.
And Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. Hope you planned your day in advance because the weather wasn't so much in favor. And to let you know, the rain will be on today and through the night. Was it the same situation all through Fiji? Let's find out. In the western side of the country, rain was on and off. Grey skies took over most of the afternoon. Eastwards from Pek Havasuva, grey clouds were persistent. The night will have longer term with showers. And up north, there is so much to adore here, but unfortunately, we also have showers moving in. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, high tide at 9:49 p.m. with low tide at 4:21 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:25. For tomorrow, rain is headed to the south from the north, just slightly missing Suvarnasori and surrounding areas, which means we'll have few odd showers. The north looks fine. Tomorrow's temps, Suva, Nandi and little closer is Savu Savu to have cool centers ranging from 28 to 29 degrees. And looking further on to Friday, the short week will end with odd showers. That's all from the Weather World. Have a great evening. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji Pulse, we asked, do more police officers need training on how to handle domestic violence issues?
We need more police officers recruited in Fiji police. There's plenty violence in Fiji.
New Zealand has got a model that the local communities, they have volunteers that help out with the police officers. They also do monthly patrols, so that's something, yeah.
There should be more police officers trained so they can handle domestic violence.
There's a rise in the cases, so there should be more police trained.
A very cute picture indeed. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Americans vote to elect the next U.S. president. More than $100 million paid in unemployment scheme, and substandard building plans worry authorities. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: should those found breaching LTA laws in buses be prosecuted? Visit our FBC website to answer. And onto our shot of the day. This is a shot of the white sandy beach at Natandola taken by Ravniel. And be sure to send in your newsworthy pictures to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, by Facebook page FBC News, and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, stay safe. Bye for now.
कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगवा लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।